Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crate Expectations. I'm here with my co host, Sarah, Celiac Sarah, whatever your name is. How are
You
you
almost
today?
called me celiac Sarah.
I thought we weren't friends today.
Uh, you're right, Sarah. We're not friends.
Oh, that was so weird. You called me by my nerd name. It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's odd. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how are you today, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hoping. I said I added that little pleasantry there just
Mhm.
to in the hopes that you would inform our viewers what we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, okay. So there really isn't any news going on in game
No?
lately. No, not really. Not since the last time we recorded.
Ooh, let me cut in just real quick and say to everyone, because
Mhm.
this is a huge disclaimer, we're recording this on a Saturday,
Mm, yes.
and well, we'll be releasing it on a Wednesday, and I would not be surprised at all if there was a big character release or something like that the previous Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, because we're recording this because Grand Arena is still messed up.
It is. So that's what you guys get, but we don't have anything current to talk about. So continue, Sarah. I apologize for the interruption.
No, you're good. So there isn't a lot of current events, but I know you have something planned. So we'll have some filler there. And then we've got a pack to go over. We have a ton of viewer questions. I think there's like 12 or something ridiculous. I don't
Wow.
think we're gonna get to them all, but we're gonna try to get to most of them.
You say a ton,
Yeah.
and then you're like 12.
that's
That's
that's a ton.
that's a ton for Canada, maybe.
Yeah, it's a Canadian ton. Uh
Like as opposed to a metric ton or a
right.
crap ton.
Yeah, Canadian
Okay.
ton. Yeah, so there's a bunch of questions we can go over. We do have a bunch of Grand Arena we can cover, so we can do our speed GAC,
Heck
and
yeah.
then we've got a roster roast.
Yeah, we got all kinds of awesome stuff for everyone today. So
Mhm.
stay tuned. Half of the show will be on my channel, the other half will be on Sarah's channel. I'll have a link at the end cap if you just want to be lazy and wait for it. You can click on it. Or if you get tired of us blathering, then, well, in the video description, you can also find a link to her channel. Please go give her a sub, guys. She is very close. She might already get to 1K subs before we
Oh
actually air
man.
this. But please, 1K is an enormously important milestone for content creators on YouTube. So
Yeah.
please, guys. And also watch her stuff because she also needs viewer hours as well. So
We're getting
that,
there.
yeah. Yeah, that being said, so we don't have anything going on. Sarah, there's a squad someone sent to me that I thought it was super interesting. It's in GAC,
My
and
favorite.
oh yeah, but so here's the thing though. There's a lot of really cool like interactions and mechanics that are involved in it,
Mhm.
and so I can't take credit for coming up with the squad myself, but I thought it was so interesting that I thought maybe I'd show you and I'd let you kind of like decode it and tell me why it's an important squad, like or not maybe not important, but why it's interesting at least.
Okay.
So you're up to it?
Yes.
It's a challenge.
I'm a little
Do,
nervous for this, but okay.
do you so accept yonder challenge?
Yes. I think.
We're in the game.
Is this the
Let's do
squad?
this. What's that?
Is this the squad?
Yeah, this is the squad. So, I mean, ideally, they'd all be relict and all of that stuff.
Okay.
But,
Right. Right.
so, in my, yeah, the squad that I saw was all blue because the person playing it probably had a much nicer roster than mine. But at the same time, it is in the composition, so it's Jedi Knight Luke lead. To be clear, it's not like Jin lead.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen a real Grand Arena squad before, so
Rude. Rude. Go on.
no, you go. I want. So
Mhm.
what's cool about this squad? Why is this squad just not total garbage, Sarah?
All right. Okay. So Jedi Knight Luke lead. So Jedi Knight Luke is going to synergize with Kyle, with only Kyle, because he's the only other Jedi,
Right, yeah. His
right?
lead will only impact Kyle and himself.
And himself, yeah. Um, and okay, so Kyle is still going to get his little speed bonus turn meter because of Chase being there.
Right.
Is Jin's a rebel fighter too, right?
She is. They're
She's
all,
taking,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
So those three are giving him 30% turn meter at the start.
yes, yep, absolutely correct. So
Okay.
he's getting the 30% turn meter from them, even because Mon Mothma doesn't actually add to that on a normal Mothra team because she's not a rebel fighter. She
Right.
doesn't want to get her hands dirty.
Right. So he's still getting his 30% turn meter to start.
Right, so he's still pretty fast.
So he's going to go first,
Oh,
theoretically.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Most likely he will probably go first.
Right, unless it's yeah, like
Unless
he'll you
you're
can get him pretty easily to about 400 speed, like
right.
not
Unless you're facing, I'm assuming, a Galactic Legend or
right.
like CLS or, you know, some other team where he wouldn't go first for obvious reasons.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, there are faster characters out there for various things, but yeah, for the most part, he'll be the fastest.
right. So he goes first. I'm assuming the AI is gonna have him do the special ability that Luke's granting because he's the only Jedi on the team other than Luke.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do that, which means Luke gets to take a turn right away,
That's correct.
which then means Luke can slow the other team down from his. Is it his lead that does that or is unique? I can never remember.
It's his lead.
It's his
I
lead.
mean, his unique would cause too much chaos. You just put him on any random team and it would
Yeah, that's
work. But
true.
yeah, so his lead, so everyone's reduced to whatever his speed is.
Yeah. Awesome.
So,
So Kyle most likely goes first, does his little Jedi special that Jedi Knight Luke's given him, which lets Jedi Knight Luke take a turn. He's probably going to do his AoE stun anyway.
yeah.
So now your whole team is frozen and slowed down.
Yeah. Yeah, so exactly. So you got it. You got all the major pieces of it. I mean, and then it's a question of how can these guys all operate together? And there's some decent synergy. They've got Baze and Turret. If you have them relic, like they could be a pain.
Well, and Jin can revive them. Can she
Sure.
not?
Yep, she can revive them. I forget. I don't remember if she can revive Kyle. Let's see. It's this one. This counter attack. Yeah. So if any critical hits, yeah, a random rebel ally can be
Mm-hmm.
revived. 50%, 20% max health for each crit scored. So look at that. I even have her modded for crit chance a little bit.
Oh,
That's fancy. Yeah. So I mean, these three in the middle aren't going to be the very best, but there's a lot of really cool stuff. So exactly, like you have a really fast character who, I mean,
mm-hmm.
that's always been one of those things of how fast can you could put a really fast character with Jedi Luke lead, and then the team jumps in, and I mean, some characters are kind of some teams are resistant to that, like Darth Revan, for instance. They don't care about being blindingly fast,
Right.
as long as their enemy is slow because they gain a bunch of speed based off of their stacks of ferocity and stuff. There are ways to circumvent it, I guess, but I mean, it's just an interesting thing. Like, I don't know what a cheap counter to this would be. I mean, maybe like Night Sisters, but maybe not. Maybe this would stall them out. I have no idea.
I don't know if it would be that cheap.
Yeah, I really have no idea. Like, because everyone's going to be going it, you'd have to mod Luke to be really slow.
Right. And then that's going to screw over whatever team you take in, unless you take in a team that can't affect.
Right, unless they have really good turn meter stuff. But yeah, yeah, like his base speed is really ridiculously slow. It's like, I mean,
Right.
112 or something like that. Did I do the math right? Yeah.
You're asking me?
No, I asked myself. Then I answered myself because I don't I don't have a high opinion of your math. So
Shouldn't.
I know. Well, then we have to caveat every math thing you do with this is a Canadian school system thing, guys. It's not a
Okay.
not an accurate representation of crate expectation.
I usually double check my work, sometimes triple check.
I
But
mean,
anyway,
if you think you're right.
yeah.
Anyways,
Okay, yeah, so you want him to be slow. I don't even know what you'd take in. That's because like Kyle is the problem, I would think, in this scenario.
um,
Part of I mean, he's a big factor of the problem.
what do you mean the problem?
The problem being that he's going to go so early on. If he's not going first, he's going second, I would guess.
Sure. Well, yeah. Right,
Uh,
and then he'll revert to his normal speed because it's only bonus turn meter at the very start. But
right.
yeah, there'll hopefully be other interactions as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a squad that someone's gonna potentially use the wrong counter on. They're like, I mean, I have no doubt Commander Luke would just wipe the floor with this team.
I feel like like people could potentially look at that and think it was just like a weird auto set team.
Sure. Well, it's very there's got some cool interactions here, and the thing
Mhm.
is, people don't. If you put it in your front bottom zone, people aren't going to want to spend resources on it. Like you might need that Commander Luke team later.
Right.
Like I have no doubt that General Grievous would beat it, but what if you're hiding Starkiller in the back? You need you need to save. Like I bet my bounty hunters would beat it. Maybe
Hmm.
not though. I mean, Kyle's going to be faster than bounty hunters. It's just I don't know. This team
Yeah.
could be really fairly obnoxious if you choose too weak of a team, but if you choose too strong of a team, you risk overcommitting. So it's just an interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mechanics at play, and I really, man, people. I talked to a lot of people initially. I was really wanting to make a Rogue One team with Jin lead work with
Hmm.
Kyle Katarn because my Mon Mothma team works really well without him, anyways. If I mod him the right way. And I really, but there's no assisting. There's no assists there. So Kyle Katarn, his whole kit is based around, him
Right.
getting out of turn attacks. And he's still not getting that here, really, but he has synergy with Jedi as well. So,
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and I mean, Luke would call him
Every once in a while.
every once in a while.
Not too
Uh,
often, though.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, there's probably enough talk about that. We can move on to the next. Well done. You
All
passed the
right.
test. We'll
Thanks.
give we'll give you a Canadian A minus, which is like an American like D. So
Why am I only getting an A minus? What is this?
why do you think do you feel like you're entitled to an A plus just because?
Yeah, that's like an American C minus.
Let's move on. Your vast ignorance of the trash American school system is painful. No,
All
let's
right.
talk. Let's talk instead. Let's see. On the list we have Starkiller Pack Bundle. Should we talk about that real quick?
Yeah, because I think it will still be out when we release. Because
Yeah, I felt bad last time. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go. What were you saying?
I was saying, I think it's, math.
Math. Right. Yeah. You think. So we have we have the sorry, let me rewind a little bit. I felt bad last time because
Mhm.
we're like, hey, go buy these mod packs, and someone even said it in the comments. They're like, hey, like next time maybe do a pack that we can actually buy, or like we can be convinced because we did the mod packs and they just disappeared before we actually aired the show
Right.
because there's a gap. So this one should still be available when we air it,
Yeah. For
and
maybe less than a day.
yeah, so hurry up.
I don't
But
know. Math.
there, yeah, hashtag math. So there's a couple cool things here. Let's talk about there's a dollar one. It
Mhm.
costs non-game currency. So dollars and fake, I mean Canadian dollars,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, you can't see Dash Rendar's confused face. There it is.
Okay.
He's so this pack gives 150 total shards. It gives 50 shards of one of these four Star Killer unlock characters, and then 50 or 25 shards of each of them. So one of them it'll give a total of 75 shards, and then the rest that'll be 75 of the other three. And then it'll give
Right.
some gear based on which character is drawn for the 50 shard draw.
But is it not is it different gear per character?
It is, yeah. You can see like
Oh.
For Mara Jade, it's got 25 injector handle salvage. I don't want to try to
Hmm.
decode what all of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it is
but
different for each one.
it is.
That's dumb.
It is a little bit. I mean, they want it to be a little confusing. Like they have to spell it out, but at the same time, I mean, it's also misleading though because it looks like you get all of this gear, but you don't get all of it. You get whatever
Right.
is assigned. It's represented this way. It's annoying. So
Mm,
math wise though, okay, so if you don't have any of these characters to 7 stars, the value of this is actually pretty good. It's much cheaper than buying them in shipments,
hmm.
and it's much cheaper than trying to buy like the marquee packs or whatever,
Hmm.
because it's
The
already a good
lottery
deal.
packs.
Right. Even if you only got shards, it would be a decent deal. I mean, obviously, you spend $40. Some people don't want to spend $40 or have $40 to spend.
Right.
And I guess you could also make the argument that these shards are more accessible than others just because they're in Cantina and you can farm them faster that way
That is true.
than on Cantina or on hard nodes. So it's a little bit of devaluation there, but overall, this is a really good pack if you have the money to spend. I mean, that's always the case. If you want to
Mhm.
spend money, it's not bad.
Well, and only two of them are on Cantina, right?
3.
Three?
Yep, all but Mara Jade. Mara Jade's on a hard.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe hope that you get Mara Jade for your 50.
Yeah, or any of the other ones are good too, because then you can start refarming the signal data that everyone needs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very
So
true.
yeah, this is a good deal if you care to
Oh, and
spend $40. You could buy it.
you can buy it twice.
Right. Right, and the way they represent it, at least, it's 25 shards for each of these characters as well. So
Hmm.
you get 75 of one, and then 25 of the others.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's a good deal. This is something I would probably buy if I didn't have Star Killer already. I'm not gonna buy it for my alt, however,
Got
unless
it.
someone wants to hook me up. Feel free.
All
No, the
right.
crystal one, the one that people could, theoretically get for free if they're free to play, just because you can hoard crystals.
Hmm.
Potentially, I'm not saying every free to play has this kind of spending. Certainly, my alt does not. But do you want to talk about this a little bit? I kind of dominated the last one.
Yeah. So this one, it's worded really weird. But because it's worded in a way that makes it sound like you're going to get only one of the four between 5 to 330, but you get four pulls of them between 5 to 330. So realistically, the first pull could be 5 of dash, and then the second pull could be 20 of dash. Like you could pull the same character theoretically all four times, but you're going to get four chances between 5 to 330 shards for 2,000 crystals. So, I mean, I guess worst case scenario is you spend 2,000 crystals and you get 5 shards every time,
Yeah.
which would
This,
be real annoying.
yeah. In theory, this is also a really interesting thing. In theory, you could draw all of like you could get all three of or all four of them
Mhm.
7 starred in one pull.
You could.
I mean, it's extremely unlikely, but you could theoretically get that. So, I mean, for 2,000 crystals, you get 20 shards.
Mhm.
I mean, That It's okay. That's decent value, I think. Well, hold on. So let's see, 2,000, and you get 20 shards.
Yeah.
So it's 100 crystals per shard at that point. Though it's unlikely to get it's more likely to get the 7 draw,
Yeah.
honestly. And if you buy them in the shard shop or in the shipments, I mean, they're
Mhm.
80 crystals instead of 100 crystals per shard. So I mean, this is a risk. It could potentially backfire on you, and you get worse value than in the shipments, but not by much. So this one's okay.
I think if you need all 4, then it makes it much more worthwhile,
That is actually a wonderful point. Yeah,
right?
if you've already farmed one of them,
Yeah.
then the value for either of these packs goes down tremendously.
Yeah. If you need all 4, then this is definitely uh I mean, if you want to gamble, you could get
Yeah,
lucky.
you could. You could. I'm not planning on it, but this is something you could do. I would be more inclined to spend the $40, but that's of course what they want to push you into. So,
Right.
because you're going to spend those crystals regardless.
Right. You want the guaranteed drop.
Yeah,
Yeah. Plus some gear.
yeah, it's not bad, not terrible. Okay, so let's do. For the rest of my segment here, we have
Yeah.
about 5 minutes or less. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do a couple. We're gonna do viewer questions
Mhm.
now until it's time, and then we're going to answer a few more viewer questions on your half, on your segment, Sarah.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right.
Uh,
So, well, yeah,
do you want to just go from the top down?
sure, let's do it.
All right. So the first one, I'm gonna say this wrong. I'm so sorry. Cotilia.
Are you actually sorry, or because I wouldn't feel sorry personally,
It's a Canadian thing. We say sorry in every sentence.
except for that one.
Yeah. I apologize. So GAC question. If you were on the verge of being promoted to a league that you were unprepared for in terms of the number of defenses that you would need to set and take on offense, would you keep doing your best and get promoted anyway, and then most likely demote again and fall back out? Or would you purposely throw matches so that you could tread water in the league that you can participate in? Do you feel the rewards from both approaches are roughly comparable? I
It's a
feel like I
great.
know.
What's that?
I said, I feel like I know what you were going to say.
Oh, this will be a fun game. What was I gonna say?
I feel like you're going to say you should be trying to promote.
Okay. So this is very relevant for my
Mhm.
Prevail Man account, who could potentially get into a Rhodium and
Yeah.
is woefully unprepared for how many teams I'd have to place and try to beat. So I would say after I've been gone back and forth, and I don't necessarily love the idea of a Rhodium for my alt,
Mhm.
but or for Prevail Man. At the same time, I like that better than being just smashed up against all of the really killer, amazing players that are all in Chromium waiting to
Mhm.
get in, who just barely didn't get in. Because they're going to be all the optimized rosters that are just on the very edge of getting there. Like, they're going to be all the tryhards just like me.
Mhm.
And at least, I think in Erodium, though, there are going to be a lot of people with bigger rosters that I can outplay, as
Yeah.
opposed to the people who are really good players and have more awesome rosters. I bet my win rate would be about the same,
Mhm.
frankly. But you get bigger rewards in Erodium, and you can say, haha, I have a 3.2 million roster, and
Mhm.
I'm in Erodium.
Um, so I also agree that you should just try to promote. And I say this as someone who flip flops and has flip flopped between Kyber 1 and Kyber 2, which I realize doesn't affect the defenses I need to, to set, but you're flip flopping back and forth still. Um, and the reason for that is even if you know you're going to exactly what you said, you're not smashed up against all of these people who are just barely able to make it there and they're going to make it there the next season or the next week or whatever. If you're moving up, there are also people moving down. And chances are, if you're moving into the bottom of the next league, the people who are in the bottom of that next league have one, yes, they've also probably moved up with you, or there's a very good chance that there are people who are falling and they're falling for a reason. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so you can either outsmart them and stay there, or even if you fall back down, you're still getting better rewards. Even just the daily crystal income that you're getting is better. So why wouldn't you take the extra crystal income for the week and
Yeah.
then fall back down, and then maybe you climb back up again the week after?
Yeah. Well, it's not a week thing. It's a full season that you'd be stuck in Erodium.
Right. But if you're switching between leagues as well,
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Like in your example, Kyber 1 and 2.
yeah, that's every week. But yeah.
Plus, throwing matches, I'll be I can admit that I'll be happy if I lose. So in certain circumstances, I'm like, well, I didn't really want to get into Erodium, but I don't think I'm capable of just intentionally losing. I've never been a fan of that. So,
Mhm.
you know. All right, next question.
All right. So Sake asked, how do you feel about the current Conquest series compared to the last two, being Dad Bod, Boba, and Maul? And are you likely to get it done quickly, or do you take your time when it comes to Conquest?
Okay, you answer first.
Okay. This Conquest felt much, much easier compared to the last two. I have literally zero complaints about this Conquest, other than the obvious bugs, but totally workable. I usually am a take your time when it comes to Conquest, but I chose to get it done quickly this time, and I finished my account in a week. I did take my time on your account though, on your alt.
Which has really bugged the heck out of me.
I know. I saved your crystals. You're welcome.
That's been wonderful. No, I have no complaints at all. So, yeah, I just want to knock it out. This was easier this time.
Mhm.
The get it done quickly, take your time. I hate the time drain, and I hate it's a checklist thing too of how many things do I have to do. Like this, it's the same principle in life in general. If I have a huge list of things I have to do, even if they don't take a ton of time, which Conquest does take a lot of time, but even if I'm spending less time on them to spread it out, it's going to
Mhm.
stress me more. So I'd rather just knock it out. So I just kind of bludgeon it my way through it on my main account.
Mhm.
I spend a ruinous amount of crystals to just get it done because I have all the Galactic Legends, I have all the teams. Why can't we just escalate this? Like I got it done in less than a week, and I
Mhm.
skipped one day.
Right.
So yeah,
You
I'd rather
bludgeoned.
bludgeoned.
I feel like also just real quick, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it if you are
Oh,
getting to wherever you're intending to get in terms of your reward.
I agree.
So,
All right, guys, we're gonna go over to Sarah's channel. Hit the
yeah.
link. It might replace her face this time, or it might just be right next to it. I'm not sure where the link is going to be. People in other videos are like, go push this button
It's going to be
right
somewhere.
here. But yeah, I just pointed it like the falcon behind me. But
It's not going to be there.
all right, so we'll see you on Sarah's channel, guys. Sub and then watch.
Yes.
Goodbye.